Hey, what's up, y'all? We're back here with the Aaron podcast. I'm here with Paige. I went to high school with her. She was Miss Indiana, Teen USA in 2017. How's it going?
That's good. It's going good. Good to see you.
So, we're just going to start out by, asking, how'd you get into, beauty pageants and what led you to that?
Yeah, so all throughout high school, obviously I did sports. I was a volleyball player at North Central, of course. And I started to get into modeling my junior year of high school. And so I was really close with a boutique in Greenfield called Raylan's. And so they had a like model call out. And so I decided to go. I had never done modeling before. And I like made it to their fashion show for, I think it was in 2016. And so when I tried that, I met Miss Indiana Teen USA 2016, and she actually played volleyball for HSE. So I was like, "You look familiar," and we started talking. And she told me about her experience as Miss Indiana Teen USA 2016, and she's like, "You should really do it and try it. Like, you'd be amazing." I'm like, "Oh God, like pageants are not my thing. Like, I do sports." And she really changed my like outlook on it because I had really just seen her on TV, kind of like Miss Universe and the whole Steve Harvey thing, and so I decided to try it. I had no type of experience. I had a slight like pageant coach that helped me out, Janice Fleming, and then my mom and my aunt helped me for the pageant, Jocelyn Smith, and I don't know. I felt so confident and comfortable. I wasn't a pageant girl. I wasn't like a cookie cutter pageant girl. Nothing's wrong with pageant girls that have done it for years. I just went into it kind of blind and being natural. And I think that's what the judges fell in love with, is that I was my genuine self and I just put it all on the stage. So that's kind of how I got into it. And yeah, it's been 3 years now since I had my title.
Yeah,
So it's crazy.
sure. So, my next question is, why do you think they're, good for girls? What positive experiences have you had going through the process?
Yeah, so if I had the chance to do it all over again, I totally would, just because without the crown, without the title, even if I just competed and didn't win, the girls that I met at my state pageant and then the girls that I competed with against for Miss Teen USA were amazing, or are amazing. We talk every single day, and it's just nice to have that support system. Like, I have girlfriends from, ever since I was little or high school, but these girls are different, and the fact that we kind of align with our morals and what we do, and we've all had the same pressure with the pageant and kind of been in the same scenarios, it's nice to have that support system, and just be able to be friends with those type of girls. And so I think, if any girls out there are like, "Oh, should I try a pageant?" I think you should definitely do it. It builds confidence, character, interview skills. I mean, we do so much. It's not just a beauty pageant. It's not just a competition. It's more than that.
Yeah, so talk about the lifestyle. Like, what are some of the things that you had to work on and certain things
Yeah.
that you felt that was a lot tougher than what you expected?
I think the thing I was most nervous for was obviously the question portion of it. Not because I don't feel intelligent enough to answer them. It's just because you don't know what they're going to ask you. So when you do the pageant, Miss Indiana Teen USA or Miss Teen USA pageant, you compete in activewear. They took out the swimwear category, so they replaced it with activewear, evening gown, and then you do your final questions. So when I did the final questions, you kind of just have to learn about yourself, and you think you know yourself, but it's like, wait, why do I believe in this? Or why do I do this every day? And you also just have to just really hunker down, and the things you usually say, you just have to, like, I had an urban accent apparently, so I had to work on pronunciating my words more. So I think that was kind of a little bit of a trial for me, but besides that, I loved the whole evening gown and activewear portion, just because I loved being on the runway and in front of people. So that was a pretty fun part of it.
Yeah, so what are you majoring in? I know you're at Cincinnati. What are you majoring in
Yeah,
school right now?
I'm majoring in fashion design.
hmm So
Yeah, it's a
how's that
5 year
been?
program.
How's that
It's
been,
been pretty
juggling
good.
everything and going to New York and doing certain things like that?
Yeah, it's been going pretty good. It's a 5 year program, so I'm a third year, technically a pre-junior, since I have 2 more years. But it's been great. I can't complain. Everything that I've set out on my blueprint, as far as going to different locations and working for different companies, has happened, and I'm blessed that God has blessed me with these opportunities. So yeah, I just got back from New York. I was working with Victoria's Secret on their concept design team for Pink. And then next I'll be going to LA, hopefully if coronavirus passes and I can move there in May.
Mm-hmm. So, what has that been like going to New York and then traveling into going to LA? Like, what's the mindset there?
It definitely was a great opportunity. I had never been to New York at all, even visited before I just up and moved there in August. So it was different. I mean, I'm used to being around a lot of people, and you can attest going to North Central is pretty cool because it's so diverse. Like, you walk the halls and see new people every single day. So being in New York was the same thing. It was just huge. It's so many people. I live kind of right in Times Square. So it's not just a lot of people, it's a lot of different cultures. It's just different faces. And I mean, it was awesome. I think New York is just kind of crazy. I mean, being on the subways and going to different, areas, but I loved it and it was a good experience for me.
So how would you say fashion is a lot different from the Midwest and then the East Coast, and then now you want to move to the West Coast? How is it different from region to region?
So I would definitely label the Midwest as like behind, obviously.
Sure.
When I'm shopping in New York and then maybe months later I'm back here and I'm like, oh, that was hot in New York. Like, we're just way behind. And so there's just nothing wrong with that. We live different lives from the Midwest and the East Coast and the West Coast. But one thing I caught myself doing in New York was layering. Like, even if it was in September and it's so warm, the more you layer and add to your style, it's like, oh, wow, she has a cool style. Even if I'm wearing a turtleneck, I might throw a bodysuit on top of it. Whereas in Indiana, I might just wear a bodysuit and jeans and keep it moving. But you want to stand out. And the thing is, like, you could look crazy and people won't notice or will notice, or you can dress like a bum and nobody will notice or won't notice because it's New York. Nobody really cares. And I think that's pretty fun. Like, going from Indiana to New York, it's like nobody knew me there. So I could be whoever I wanted to be, dressed like whatever I wanted to dress like. And that's a pretty fun aspect about it.
Yeah, definitely. I went to Seton Hall for 2 years, so I already know, it's a lot different of a lifestyle once you go to New York. It's like everything's fast. You normally don't see people more than, 1 or 2 times. So,
right.
You get to really have a new identity every single time you wake up and go out on the streets. So it's a unique experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are you hoping to get out of LA?
I want to make a lot of connections. I definitely, working in New York, I worked 9 to 6. And so by the time I finished working, honestly, I was tired and it was just on a constant repeat. But I think LA, I will definitely make a lot more connections. I know a few more people out there than New York. So going out, taking advantage of my weekends after work, getting out and exploring, getting to meet with different groups of people, I think would be pretty nice for building my brand right now. I mean, I'm 21, so I have a lot of ways to go, but I'm definitely building right now. So that would be really nice in LA to do that.
So for someone who's in fashion, just pick a day and just pick like what certain things you do, starting from in the morning to, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, then, later on in the day to 3, 4, all the way up until the end of your night.
As far as work or when I'm in school?
As far as work.
Okay. So when I was working for L Brands, when I went in at 9, it kind of just varied because when I do concept design. And so when I was doing concept design for them, that's basically a lot of trend work, a lot of working with samples. So my team would go out shopping to LA. I think they went to China or Japan, doing shopping actually in New York sometimes too. And so I would organize samples. I would go through and make mood boards. I would click through pictures from Coachella that we took. I also got a chance to go on Rutgers campus and actually speak with some girls on campus about what they wear, take pictures. So going back to your question, every day is different. I mean, I could be doing something totally different. Some days I work on different projects. I usually meet with my team a few times a day to see what they're working on, what I can help them with. And since I was an intern, it's kind of just, helping, being that glue with the team and whatever I can help fill in is kind of how that went.
So, so now since you're going to move to LA, but where are you at, like, as of right now? Obviously, everyone's in quarantine.
Yeah.
So what's your job like right now? And, how have things been put in hold and how has it been affecting you?
So at first, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of hard because, you get this notice from your school. It's like, it's time, you guys have to go. All the studios are shut down, pack up. I think I got like a 3 days notice to get everything out of my locker. So when I moved back to India, I was so sad. I was, I didn't want to fall into a depression, but I was just sleeping my days away, as much as that's nothing like my personality.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week I got up, I started a routine like I would be going to school. And then I started sewing again. And I don't know if you've checked out my Instagram lately, but I started making different sets.
Mm-hmm.
I revamped some of my dad's hoodies and turned them into cool little short sets for girls. And then now I'm going to be working on a few personal projects and actually working on someone's pageant runway outfit for a competition. So my days are different, but I found different motivation as well, and not letting myself fall into a deep hole. I'm sure a lot of creatives are finding it hard to find motivation right now because we're used to being outside and getting inspiration from people we see every day, things we do. But I'm trying to not let that affect me right now. So I'm definitely praying for people that have been affected by COVID-19.
For sure. So last question.
Yeah.
I got some tough ones. So
Oh
if you,
God.
I know, and this is me personally, since I know you. I know you're a big sports fan. What's your favorite NBA team right now?
Oh my gosh, my favorite NBA team right now. I don't really have one.
Who's your favorite college team?
Cincy. That's easy.
Yeah, I mean that's easy.
Yeah, one of my good friends plays on the team, so I've been to a few of the games when I moved back from New York. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I haven't actually tuned into a lot of the NBA right now, just because, well, I know right now obviously no one's playing, but when I was working and in school, I've literally just been no TV, working, grinding, trying to get it all together. So hope I didn't disappoint you with that answer.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I definitely understand that. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I pretty much during the year, I pretty much only watch maybe a couple of like TNT games, and then wherever my brother plays, obviously I'm watching him. But
Yeah,
I don't
of
really watch
course.
the NBA as much as people may think.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for the time, Paige.
Yeah, thanks for having
I hope
me.
everything works out pretty good, and I hope we can stay connected.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
Take care.